the Knicks Sixers game 1 of the season series. Most pods, you get a lot of Knicks pods. I'm sure you see a lot of Sixers pods. They all break down, the Knicks pods break down the Knicks, the Sixers pods break down the Sixers. I'm sure you listen, you follow some, I follow some Knicks stuff. I haven't really seen a pod out there that does like a rivalry co-host pod like this. So, Sistad, Sixers fan, I'm a Knicks fan, so a little bit of a different niche here on this pod. Knicks win game 1 of the season series. Not really Sixers full go. Embiid was, I don't know what he was, but he was not in NBA shape. Probably not in running a mile condition. I don't know if he can go on a bike ride in my neighborhood. And then Maxey wasn't playing. So, and the Knicks had a couple guys out, but a couple rotation guys, but obviously not the most important player. So, where do you begin? Give me your perspective from the Sixers. I mean, watching this game and just in general, how you feel right now.
So this game wasn't super surprising, as disappointing as it was. Embiid, no matter what, always looks like this in like the first few games of the season. He certainly has to play himself into game shape. It's not new. I would have hoped that he looked a little bit better, but I actually thought he did some pretty good things, mostly in the first half before he got really gassed. But specifically defensively, I thought he looked pretty spry, pretty quick. He had that nice block on, I forget who it was in the first half, but might have been Brunson. Pinned it up against the backboard really, really quick.
That was Brunson, yeah.
Yeah. Brunson got by him pretty quickly, and Embiid paid up a lot of ground quick and swatted it off the backboard. So that was a nice play. Couple nice passes. You could see it's nice to have his gravity back. Some of the shooters were a lot more open than they'd been the previous, however many games. But I mean, overall, man, this season just sucks. It honestly kind of feels like how you were saying about the Jets a couple weeks ago. Like the expectations are so high, and they're just so bad. It's not all their fault. Obviously, injuries have played into it, but it's just like look like you're competent. I mean, you can't be in last place. You can't lose to the Raptors, the Pistons, the Bucks. Like you gotta hover around 500 somewhere, especially with all the offseason moves. Yeah, it's really bad. And what's most disappointing is in theory they have a good coach, and I get he's also kind of known for just throwing a lot of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, which I appreciate. But at the same time, like you got to win some games. A little too much, like Jeff Doughton last night. Like, what are we doing? Put Eric Gordon in, put Reggie Jackson in, put somebody who's going to at least space the floor a little bit. Just real disappointing. Obviously the Maxey thing sucks, and it's like the temperature of Sixers fandom right now has been for the past few years like, hey, just get me to the playoffs with a healthy Embiid, and we'll see what happens. And that I do agree with that sentiment for the most part. It's just so frustrating having to go through it, and like you got to start winning games at some point. These three guys have to play together. They have to develop some chemistry, and like I don't want to be backing into the playoffs like as a 7 or 8 seed and having to play the Celtics or the Knicks in the first round, because it's going to be the same result. So super frustrating.
I hear you. I know we'll talk about this game, but real quickly tonight they're playing the Cavs and they don't have any of the big three. They're all out.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just like, okay, we're going to be 2-9.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've
that's what
said,
they're saying, right?
Again, not surprising though. They said that Embiid and Paul George are not playing back-to-backs this year. So
at all, right?
At all. You might see Paul George maybe play a couple here, but Embiid said earlier in the offseason that he will probably never play back-to-backs for the remainder of his career.
You mentioned that. That's kind of crazy.
It is. Again, I don't hate it, but I just you gotta start winning some games. You gotta avoid the play-in, and you gotta dude, if they big picture, and they're still only 3 games out of the 4th seed, so it's really not that detrimental. But it's super frustrating now if they can get to April as not in the play-in tournament, and the guys have played 45, 50 games together. I'll feel relatively good, I guess. But yeah, just right now going through the motions, it's incredibly maddening.
Yeah. Watching this game, I don't know about you. I from the Knicks' perspective, I felt like through 3 quarters, the Knicks were only up a few points. I thought it should have been a blowout. The Knicks were shooting better. They were taking a lot more shots. They had I think through 3 quarters had 11 more shots attempted. They had a higher shooting percentage. To me, the Knicks were controlling the game. Yet it was a close game going to the fourth quarter. Then the Knicks took over in the fourth. What was your sentiment throughout the game going into the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I kind of, it's funny. I was feeling as I was watching that game, it reminded me a lot of before the Celtics got, Drew Holiday and Horford back. It's like the Kyrie Irving Celtics. I always felt when the Sixers would play them, that's how the game felt. Like the Sixers would they were getting outplayed the whole time, but they would kind of chip away. As soon as they got to within one or two or tied the game or even took the lead by a point, there was just a flurry, and you're all of a sudden you're down by 9 in a blink. So yeah, the Knicks were certainly outplaying them. I mean, the one thing that the Sixers had going for them is that they do get to the line a lot. So that there was a really big disparity in the free throws. I think that really kind of kept the game a lot closer than it should have been. But that's part of it. I mean, the Sixers go to the line a lot. They're one of the top teams in the league in getting free throws, specifically with Embiid back. So yeah, not super surprising. Not surprised by the result. Not surprised really by anything in that game. Just pretty bummed, pretty disappointed. It's a culmination of just the start of the season, and there's really no end in sight because Maxi's got a hamstring. That's like who knows, 3 to 6, 7 week injury could be. So these guys are they're not going to play together for a long time, and that really sucks. There has been some bright spots so far, some positives, but overall it's just super disappointing.
I think the one thing to hang your hat on is Embiid's going to improve his condition. He's going to be dominating games. That will change the team significantly. Just Embiid out there dominating and being able to play 28, 30 minutes. Because he played 24, 22, something like that? 24 minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
And they weren't even there was one ball, there was a rebound 2 feet away from him. And I think it was Cat who wasn't even close to the ball and beat Embiid to the offensive rebound. And Embiid was had no energy.
Yeah, he was gassed.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So there's kind of light at the end of the tunnel, but again, you can't slip this far behind. You can't. It's now 10 games. I mean, it's not a significant portion of the season. It's probably 12% of the season's gone by so far, and yeah, they're going to be 2-9, and that really sucks. So there's positives. There's light at the end of the tunnel. This rookie Jared McCain looks like he can play, which there were certainly some question marks from him just earlier in the season, preseason.
Yeah, I thought it was funny on the broadcast though. They were raving about him, how great he's, and then you look at the box score and he's actually not having that good of a game.
Yeah.
It's he's shooting 34% from the floor. It's not that good.
Yeah.
He's good though.
He's confident. Yeah, he's confident.
He has a lot of talent for sure.
He has a lot of talent. He was really impressed. That one, I think it was a pass from Embiid. Embiid got a rebound down low and kicked it out to him in the corner. And if you watched him before he got the ball, he had Anunoby on him and just really had a nice stutter step, broke away from Anunoby and caught a corner 3 and hit it. So yeah, there's flashes. Paul George, I thought, looked really good for the first time this year. So that's always really encouraging. I just love that kind of, he'll always be it's my favorite kind of basketball player. Just guys who are long, athletic, could kind of hit,
shoot really well,
can shoot, right, step backs, get to the rim. Yeah, I love, I'm such a sucker for just a nasty step back. I just love that shit so much. Josh Hart's buzzer beater at the end of the first half. Love that. Dude, that is my so favorite funny? Thing about basketball is a shot like
Josh Hart's statistics, his shooting
against
percentages.
The Sixers, right? Yeah.
No. First 23 seconds of a shot clock, he's from 3, he's 25%. In the last second, he's 70%.
Unbelievable.
There's something
man.
about like when he's not thinking about it and actually just shoots. He's actually a good shooter when he's not in his head.
Are
Speaking
you
of
sure
that,
it's not just when he plays Philadelphia? He's like shoots lights
that
out.
is not a Philadelphia statistic.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. You're referring to the playoff series, but most NBA teams don't leave NBA players, 10 feet with 10 feet of space. Like it's not like they're leaving Mitchell Robinson at the 3-point line. It's you're leaving
I know.
a 30% 3-point shooter with no one on the side of the court. It's not.
Yeah. Anyway, Knicks look good. I thought. Offensively they look like a fucking juggernaut. Really
Knicks, yeah,
scary.
Brunson was shooting poorly, and he's had a few games this year so far where he hasn't shot well. But yeah, I agree. The looks that the Knicks are able to get, their looks that they're able to generate on a consistent basis, it's pretty impressive. It's really tough to guard.
Yeah, it's beautiful basketball. I fucking hate it, but it's very aesthetically pleasing.
But they have their issues though. They're 6-6. Their defense hasn't been very good. Brunson has been. I mean, it's a shooting slump. I'm sure some Knicks fans are actually worried, but he's not shot well. The free throw disparity you talked about, that's been an issue for the Knicks this season. Randall was a big physical player that got to the line, drew a lot of fouls. So they missed that. Cat brings that to an extent, but not to the same extent as Randall. It's a different team. It takes some time for them to gel, and also their depth is partly because of the injuries and partly just because they traded away their depth. Their depth is a little bit of an issue. I mean, again, OG 40 minutes last night, Hart 37, Brunson 35, Cat 38.
Damn.
They can't really do this every single game.
Yeah.
But that's what they've been doing. And you can't do that. By the way, Matt Ryan's horrible.
What's his name? Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan. No, yeah, Matt Ryan.
Nice.
Like the Falcons quarterback.
Yeah. No, I listen, I saw that his last name was Ryan, but obviously he's deep off the bench, so don't know much about
Yeah, he's
him.
just playing because guys are hurt, but awful.
Yeah, of course.
And I also think Campaign is going to lose his rotation spot at some point.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Oh, man. I love me some Campaign, dude. Love me some Campaign.
You would love Campaign. All right, so we're going to do more expansive breakdowns on Knicks Sixers games throughout the season. First one, Knicks win 111-99. Sixers didn't have Maxey. They had 20% of Embiid. So we'll hopefully have some more fun games between the Knicks and Sixers.
So much fun.
So much fun. All right, thanks for listening.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew Sistad, glad unite. Philly and Y in the spot.